I played through Uncharted Drake's Fortune and wouldn't stop until I got all 54 trophies available. I succeeded, but now it's time to judge the trophies from easiest to hardest. Let me throw out a few disclaimers really quick before we get into the thick of it. First, I'm not just looking at the raw difficulty. While that is a factor in how I rank these, I'm also considering how time-consuming and obscure a trophy might be. Consider this more like a least effort to most effort list. That's just a much less interesting video title. Now, I'm only listing 53 of the 54 trophies here because the 54th trophy is the Platinum Trophy, which you get for achieving all other trophies. Obviously, that one would land at the top of the list, so that should just go without saying. Also, keep in mind, these rankings are just my opinion. I had to gauge these based on my own personal experience. I tried to use completing the main campaign as my baseline, and then determine on each trophy individually whether you'd most likely unlock them naturally before beating the game, or if it was more likely you'd have to go back and target them after beating the game. Lastly, I don't have the game footage anymore for when I got all the trophies. I'm sorry, I was a goddamn fool, so I'm gonna try and plug in some game footage that is somewhat related to whatever the hell I'm talking about, but in other cases I might just have some generic footage going on. So again, my apologies on that. With all that out of the way, let's jump into the easiest trophy in Uncharted Drake's Fortune. At number 53, I have Follow the Leader, compare statistics with friends. All you gotta do is load up the start menu and compare stats with your friends. It takes like 20 seconds. And you don't even need to have any friends, which is great for a cave gremlin like myself. Rank 52 goes to Shoot Some B-roll for Elena, Explore Photo Mode. This is just like comparing stats, although I think you have to go through one more pause menu to enable photo mode in the first place, and then try it out. Another one you can get in the first minute of playing the game. In spot 51 is First Treasure, for finding one treasure. Treasures are the main collectible for Uncharted, and there's 60 of them scattered throughout the chapters of the game. They give off a pretty noticeable sparkle when in view. Even if you barely explore the environments you're thrown in, I can't imagine you'll get very far into the game before happening upon at least one treasure. At number 50 is 20 headshots. Kill 20 enemies with headshots. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Don't exactly need to think hard to figure out the premise here. As with most shooting games, headshots are the ideal way to dispatch foes quickly. This is extra true in Uncharted because thugs are a little too far on the tanky side otherwise. Racking up 20 headshots should come pretty early on in the adventure. Rank 49 goes to Brutal Brawler. Kill 5 enemies with brutal combos. Performing a brutal combo is technically more difficult than earning a headshot because A, you need to nail a quick time button event to pull one off, and B, you gotta get up close and personal to a foe that's trying to shoot at you. It's still a pretty easy task though, and 5 kills in this manner is not a big ask by any means. In spot 48 is Headshot Expert. Kill 5 enemies in a row with headshots. The only detail getting in your way is that the 5 headshots have to be in a row, so any non-headshot kills will reset your counter. But just like I stated a moment ago, 5 is a very small ask to manage. At number 47 is 100 headshots. Kill 100 enemies with headshots. It's like 20 headshots, but 5 times as much. The number may be bigger, but getting to 100 headshots is still pretty standard fare in a typical playthrough. Rank 46 goes to Brutal Slugger. Kill 20 enemies with brutal combos. Again, we're just upping the number from a previous trophy. Now, would you naturally get 20 brutal combo kills in a run? I don't know. I did because my dumbass would run in all yellow style. Even if you do gotta come back to this later for trophy cleanup, it can be knocked out in a couple minutes. In spot 45 is Brutal Expert. Kill 5 enemies in a row with brutal combos. I honestly think you could probably score a cumulative 20 brutal combos naturally before getting 5 in a row. I don't know, it could be interchangeable with the last one, but something about the in a row seems a little extra just to me. At number 44 is Novice Fortune Hunter. Find 10 treasures. Finding 10 of the 60 seems pretty achievable naturally, even if you aren't very thorough. If you do take a little time to explore, you'll get up to 10 treasures pretty early on. Rank 43 goes to Intermediate Fortune Hunter. Find 20 treasures. In my first playthrough, I came across between 20 and 30 treasures by the time I beat the game. In case you couldn't tell, there's a trophy acting as a milestone for every 10 treasures collected. I feel like getting 20 of them is a reasonable and average expectation before you have to actually start dedicating effort to tracking them down. In spot 42 is Cosplay. Kill an enemy while playing as an alternate character costume other than Drake. The first non-Drake costume is Sully, which is unlocked by finding 20 treasures. Hence why it's right after Intermediate Fortune Hunter. Once enough treasures are collected, you just gotta hop in a menu, change costumes, and score 1 kill. At number 41 is Run and Gunner. Kill 20 enemies by shooting from the hip. Now, I seriously doubt anyone will earn a lot of hip-fire kills for most of the game. Generally, you're facing gun-toting thugs, and you'd be severely handicapping yourself by not aiming down your sights. However, once you get to the end of the game where you're being hunted by the cursed demons, hip-firing is actually the preferred method. The demons hop around, and aiming down the sights is just too slow. Picking up a Mossberg shotgun or an MP40 rifle and letting loose from the hip is a surprisingly effective way to fight through the final acts of Uncharted. Rank 40 goes to Relic Finder, find the strange relic. So remember when I said there are 60 treasures hidden throughout this game? I lied. Well, kinda. The strange relic is hidden maybe a third or a fourth of the way into the game, during the fortress section. For some reason it will count to your treasure total, but apparently it's unique enough to deserve its own trophy. Unlike other treasure-related trophies that will pop once you hit a certain number, regardless of which treasures you've nabbed, this run requires you to find this specific collectible. In spot 39, we have 50 kills PM 9mm. Kill 50 enemies with the PM 9mm. This is the pistol that Nate starts almost all of the levels with. In a lot of cases in the early game, it's the only weapon you got to work with, so whether on purpose or not, you'll be getting kills with these things. This is one of the weapon kill-based trophies that I think almost everyone will unlock before beating the game. At number 38 is 30 kills MP40. Kill 30 enemies with the MP40. You won't see any of these rifles drop until way later into the game. But when you see them, you'll be using the hell out of them. It'll be your main firearm against the hordes of cursed demons. These MP40s are literally strewn about everywhere in the endgame, so 30 kills should be an automatic score. Rank 37 goes to 50 kills, Moss 12. Kill 50 enemies with the Moss 12. Pretty much the same feedback as the MP40. They don't really pop up until the very end, but this shotgun, more so than the MP40, is the ideal demon killer. When you see it, you'll want to use it. It gets a little step up from the last trophy because, well, 50 kills is more than 30. In spot 36 is 50 kills M4. Kill 50 enemies with the M4. This is an automatic rifle that will be dropped by many of the more elite enemies in the later game. It's not an automatic option like the MP40 and Moss 12 guns are against demons, but if you snag yourself an M4, you'll get a good amount of mileage and kills out of it. At number 35 is 50 kills, the 92FS 9mm. Kill 50 enemies with the 92FS 9mm. This is the sidearm that later game thugs will carry on them. You'll probably be more enticed to use a primary weapon like the rifles, but this sidearm is still plentiful and a good tool to swap out your base PM 9mm pistol with. I don't see 50 kills being too tedious to grind out, if you don't happen to get it naturally. Rank 34 goes to 250 headshots. Defeat 250 enemies with headshots. This is the most intimidating kill trophy when it comes to looking at the raw number. You might be surprised at how many headshots you'll accumulate in a run through. I hit 250 before beating the game, so there was no grinding to worry about. Even if you don't get it by the time the credits roll, it's cumulative, so while you're working on the rest of the trophies, this one will inevitably unlock. In spot 33 is Survivor. Kill 75 enemies in a row without dying. Now, how soon you unlock this trophy is completely based on your personal skill. You could get this on the 75th enemy that appears in the game if you just never die. Or if you lose a life here and there, you may have to actually try for it. If you start the game on easy or normal, it'll be pretty simple to get 75 consecutive kills in one life. At number 32 is These Walls Can't Stop Me. Beat Chapter 5, The Fortress, in less than 10 minutes. There's a lot of climbing and combat to work through, so maybe you don't beat that time limit on your first try. However, once you know the level and you take it on a lower difficulty, 10 minutes is plenty of time. All you gotta do is restart from a chapter select if you don't meet the time anyways. Rank 31 goes to a Speedy Reunion. Beat Chapter 16, The Treasure Vault, in less than 7 minutes. Conceptually the same as the last one, but this level is a little more of a nuisance because of the cursed demon enemies that get in the way. Hey y'all, Scooter from the future here, chiming in to say that, I'm a dumbass. I totally confused Chapter 16, The Treasure Vault, with Chapter 17, The Heart of the Vault. So you actually don't even fight the cursed demons at all for this trophy. This is the level where you're climbing shit and shooting shit in the catacombs right beforehand. But I'll still keep it here on the list because it just makes sense. Why not? Fuck it. In spot 30 is Up a Short Creek Without a Paddle. Beat Chapter 12, Heading Up River, in less than 5 minutes. These 3 timed level trophies just so happen to be ordered from longest to shortest time constraints. That was actually by accident. I based these on how annoying the chapters were. And heading up river might be my least favorite chapter of the game. Blasting up the river in the jet ski, stopping and going in the rapids while avoiding thugs and explosive barrels make for a pain in the ass level. I still wouldn't go as far as to say this is blatantly hard, but I'll give it the edge over the other two time chapter challenges. At number 29 is YOLO Fortunately. Beat the last chapter without dying on normal difficulty or harder. This is the final fight on the boat with Navarro and his goons. A pretty easy level to die on compared to the rest of the game, and obviously you can't just breeze through it on easy. As long as you keep your head down and act fast against the enemies, this should be simple enough. Again, just like the timed challenges, if you do mess up, you only have to select and complete the one level from the chapter select. Rank 28 goes to Charted, Easy. Finish the game on Easy without changing the difficulty. We're almost halfway through the entire list, and I'm only just getting to the trophies for beating the main story. It just goes to show that most of the trophies in Uncharted Drake's Fortune are quick cakewalks, at least until we hit a huge difficulty spike later in the list, but we'll get to that. Everything up until now has been tasks that either accumulate with no effort, or can be knocked out in a matter of minutes. Beating the game is the first instance of needing to dedicate a few hours to a trophy, but obviously beating the game is the core goal, so you'd probably want to tackle that anyways. In spot 27 is Charted, Normal. Finish the game on Normal without changing the difficulty. I mean, we're singing the same song as Charted Easy. Obviously, Normal is harder than Easy, but it's essentially the same ask. At number 26 is Charted, Hard. Finish the game on Hard without changing the difficulty. Normally I don't experience a game through every single difficulty it has to offer. I typically do a normal run through and then a hardest difficulty run through. Uncharted broke that mold. I actually did play through on Hard, and I mean, yeah, it's obviously harder than normal, but not enough for me to launch it higher up on this list. I don't ever remember a segment that truly challenged me on Hard, so for me it's pretty hand in hand with beating the game normally. Rank 25 goes to Cheater. Activate a tweak. Tweaks are Uncharted's in-game cheats, infinite ammo, instant kill bullets, and the such. As far as I can tell, you have to beat the game at least once to activate any of these tweaks, but once you do, it's just one more step of going into the menus and turning on the ones you like a strip club. Why do I say things? In spot 24 is Triple Dyno-Might. Kill 3 enemies with 1 explosion. This can be knocked out very quickly once you go for it, but that's my main argument. Unless you get lucky, I really don't think it's a trophy you'll accidentally get along the way. There are very few opportunities where 3 thugs are clustered close enough to die in a single boom, so it'll be something you actively work at to obtain. At number 23 is Dyno-Might Master. Kill 3 enemies in 1 explosion 5 times. I mean, it's the exact same as Triple Dynamite, but you gotta get 5 explosive triple kills. This definitely won't happen naturally in a playthrough, but once you establish that magic spot where you can get the triple kill, it's just a matter of reloading your checkpoint a few more times to reach the total. Rank 22 goes to Hangman. Kill 20 enemies with gunfire while hanging. I'm almost positive that I had 0 kills in this manner when I first beat the game. It's such a specific scenario that you wouldn't think of. Again, just like the triple kills, it's pretty simple to knock out in a few minutes by farming a good checkpoint where you have the opportunity. In spot 21 is Grenade Hangman. Kill 10 enemies with grenades while hanging, just like the last entry, but with grenades instead of guns. This was ever so slightly more annoying than getting gun kills, but essentially it's the same process. At number 20 is Steel Fist. Kill 5 enemies with a single punch after weakening them with gunfire. So I actually completely misunderstood what this was asking for me on my first try. I thought the idea was to shoot an enemy until they were at low health, and then deliver the killing blow with a melee strike. So after killing like a few dozen enemies that way with no trophy, I thought something wasn't adding up. It turns out, what I needed to do was shoot an enemy and then immediately follow up with a punch, like a 1-2 combo, but with a bullet. This kills an enemy outright, and this is what the trophy was asking for. Rank 19 goes to Steel Fist Expert. Kill 10 enemies in a row with a single punch after weakening them with gunfire. This is just the Big Daddy advancement of Steel Fist. The 10 in a row adds a slight fail condition if you don't remain consistent, but once you get past the initial obscurity of figuring out what's being asked, it's a quick task to complete. In spot 18 is Supernatural Born Killers. Defeat 5 descendants with a sniper rifle. They're talking about the cursed demons, since I don't recall if the term descendants are actually explicitly used in the story mode. You probably wouldn't even think to use a sniper against these jumpy cocks. The shotgun and MP40 rifles are just infinitely superior options. That being said, there is a specific part later on where there's a free sniper up for grabs, and a crap ton of demons to pick apart. If you do take that opportunity, it's basically a free trophy. At number 17 is 50 kills AK-47. Kill 50 enemies with the AK-47. Coming back to a group of kill-based trophies, these are the ones I placed up higher on the list because it's the batch that I had to go back and farm for. If you personally use an AK-47 more frequently, then this may come along a lot quicker. I did not like using the AK unless I had to, and it's really only dropped by thugs in the earlier chapters, so 50 kills did not come automatic for me personally. Rank 16 goes to 30 kills Dragon Sniper. Kill 30 enemies with the Dragon Sniper. Now the sniper was very handy when I got my hands on one, but they don't come with the most ammo. This meant I had to find multiple opportunities to grab a sniper and score more kills to reach the count. In spot 15 is 30 kills MK-NDI. Kill 30 enemies with the MK-NDI grenades. Don't let the fancy name fool you, they're just grenades. Grenades are spread about across the entire story, but you only get a few at a time. If you regularly burn through your grenade supply as you go, then this will unlock sooner rather than later. I forgot about grenades most of the time, so this was one I had to go back and farm almost entirely. At number 14 is 20 kills West 44. Kill 20 enemies with the West 44. This is a revolver magnum that pops up kinda early on, but pretty rarely, and you don't get many shots out of it when you do secure one. Luckily, it pretty much one-shot kills enemies, so as long as you don't miss too often and you're good at reloading checkpoints, the farming goes by pretty painlessly. Rank 13 goes to 20 kills Desert 5. Kill 20 enemies with a Desert 5. This is another powerful magnum pistol, and the trophy shares all the same traits as the West 44. It just gets a leg up because it doesn't appear until much later in the game. In spot 12 is 30 kills M79. Kill 30 enemies with the M79. This is the grenade launcher. Absolutely a fun murderous time, every time. But like the magnums before it, it's not the most accessible weapon, and it only comes with a couple of shots. Like literally only a couple of shots. So you gotta find a lot of these, and most assuredly will have to farm to accomplish the kill count. At least there's the jet ski segment where you have infinite ammo, so you can jump up the kill total pretty damn hard in that one level. At number 11 is 50 kills Micro 9mm. Kill 50 enemies with the Micro 9mm. This is the top of the weapon kill based trophies for me. The weapon is rare enough, and it quite frankly sucks at killing enemies. Even if it comes with a large amount of ammo, you gotta blow through a lot of it just to drop a single fool. This will most certainly be a gun that you'll have to farm some kills with. Moving into the top 10, we're talking about Master Ninja. Kill 50 enemies by melee attacking from behind. There are only like 4 clear moments when you get a stealth kill throughout the game, so you absolutely have to spend a good few minutes at a checkpoint farming these stealth kills one at a time. This is the most tedious farming trophy by Uncharted standards, but compared to what other games may ask of you, this is still a breeze. In spot 9, I have Proficient Fortune Hunter, find 30 treasures. And now it may seem weird that I put the 20 treasure trophy like 33 spots ago and this one up here. Again, this is kind of just based on the fact that I think it would be natural to come across between 20 to 30 treasures in a casual playthrough. I think this trophy more or less crosses the line from being automatic into needing direct attention. The reason I put the treasure hunting above the kills is because the kills can be earned in multiple places and slowly rack up over your total playtime. The treasures require you to go to specific places one after another. You'll also likely need an internet guide up while going for these, unless you want to spend a considerable amount of time randomly exploring. At number 8 is Professional Fortune Hunter, find 40 treasures. Same logic, but 10 treasures deeper. Rank 7 goes to Expert Fortune Hunter, find 50 treasures. What can I say, it's jumping the count up again. In spot 6 is Master Fortune Hunter, find 60 treasures. This is getting every treasure in the game. While not difficult, it does take a bit of time, and you want to maintain some level of bookkeeping so you know what treasures you've gotten and which ones you haven't. Now for the top 5, at number 5 is Master Thief Collection, find all treasures and the strange relic. This is just a combination of Master Fortune Hunter and Relic Finder, the pinnacle of collectibles to experience in this game. Rank 4 goes to the Fat and the Furious. Complete a continuous speedrun as Donut Drake. This 100% gets the reward for being my favorite trophy in the game. Doing a speedrun playthrough while playing as Mega Fat Drake is just a funny concept. This requires you to beat the game once to unlock the Fat costume, then run through the game again in the speedrun mode in one sitting. This ranks high because this single trophy is asking for 2 entire playthroughs, which is a bit of a time dedication. Realistically, there's no challenge though, because while you do have to do a speedrun, There is no time limit to meet. You can take as long as you want, earn a speed run time so embarrassing that you'd be put at the loser's kid table for all time, and you still get the trophy. In spot 3 is Need for Speed. Achieve a complete speedrun time of less than 2 hours and 30 minutes. Now if you're smart, you can double this up with the Donut Drake trophy and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Regardless, the effort needed does involve another complete run through the story, and having a time limit to boot. Now the time limit isn't too strict. When I did this, I had 20 minutes left over. But you still can't dick around. You have to be mindful of your time and pay attention to the countdown. At number 2 is Charted, Crushing. Finish the game on Crushing without changing the difficulty. Talk about a difficulty spike. Every trophy up until this point has honestly been pretty easy, but with varying levels of time dedication or obscurity to figure out. Beating this game on Crushing difficulty is, quite frankly, no fucking joke. The enemies are straight up bullet sponges, have near perfect aim, and can drop you in a couple quick shots. You can do a little difficulty mitigation if you do the exploit that lets you go in with some good tweaks activated, but it's still pretty damn hard even with the extra help. You'll die a lot, and you'll probably spend the second most amount of time in the game on this one playthrough. This only gets topped by our number 1 spot, the hardest trophy in Uncharted Drake's Fortune, which is Charted, Brutal. Finish the game on Brutal without changing the difficulty. It's bad enough that this is the epitome of the game's difficulty. The extra salt on the wound is that you need to beat the game on Crushing difficulty to even unlock Brutal difficulty. Not only are you trying to cope with the overwhelming difficulty, the additional time spent on running through the story yet again can really crush your spirits. It's not impossible by any means. If you put in the effort, you will complete this, but it's not something you'll just waltz in and knock out right off the bat, so be prepared if you dare to go for this. And that sums up my personal rankings on the Uncharted Drake's Fortune trophies. Do you agree? Disagree? Couldn't care less? Whatever works. Throw your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my videos, check out that subscribe button. I love you guys for doing it, and I hope to see you guys around.